We take your question right to the doctors, and we are welcoming Dr. Amy Cobb from University Health today to join us for this Doc Talk. First question has to do with fibromyalgia. What research is being done for treatments and a cure for fibromyalgia?
Okay, so to level set, fibromyalgia is a condition where you experience pain in the skin, muscles, soft tissues all over your body. And the way I would think about this, it's like the body has turned up everyday touches to feel like pain, kind of like a car alarm going off because a branch hit your car instead of just when your car is getting broken into. So the main things that can help with this are treating underlying mood disorders, really managing your stress and anxiety. So learning relaxation techniques, learning stress management, and if you have anxiety, depression, or another mood disorder, getting that treated effectively. The other thing would be sleep and exercise. So making sure your sleep quality is good. If you're snoring, I would get checked for sleep apnea. And then the best exercise is going to be like aerobic stuff that's not high impact, like walking, cycling, water aerobics, especially if that water can be warm, swimming, and then some non-aerobic things like yoga and Tai Chi. In terms of research, there are a lot of clinical trials going on right now that's looking at all of those things.
Yeah.
How do we improve sleep? Does mindfulness, how can it impact symptoms? Something called amygdala retraining to kind of deal with prior traumas and all kinds of medications. So there's definitely more to come. If I were to say two things for somebody to really hang on to that has fibromyalgia, I would say one is to keep moving. Exercise can really keep you functional. And then two, mindfulness, because it can change the way you experience pain.
Okay. Our next question comes from Eddie. He asks, can the condition of COPD worsen as you get older?
Yeah. So COPD is a condition that can make it really hard to breathe because there's a lot of mucus in the airways or because there's damage to the air sacs in the lungs. And everyone's lung function, most of the time, unless we're becoming more fit with time, our lung function goes down, and that's true with COPD as well. The things that can help would be, one, stop smoking now, yesterday, right away. It's never too late. Avoid fumes and dust and things that provoke your COPD. You're going to want to make sure you're maintaining a healthy weight, because both being obese or being too thin can make your COPD worse. You want to make sure that you're being active. So there's something called pulmonary rehab that you can do to keep your lungs functioning, or just any exercise walking program. And then you want to avoid infection. So making sure you're getting your vaccines. I want to call out specifically like pneumonia, pertussis vaccine, flu, COVID, RSV, and washing your hands, staying away from sick people. And then last, just take the medicines your doctors might, and treatments your doctor might be recommending.
All right, we're in the holidays. And I know you're a pediatrician. Kids are your first love when it comes to treating. Give us some tips for how to deal with picky eaters. Because a lot of times you're at relatives' house and they serve something that maybe the kids aren't crazy about.
They just want the rolls.
Yeah.
Yes. What are your tips?
Right. So the question about picky eating I hear all the time, and I think there's at least three fears that parents have. So one is my kid going to get the micronutrients that they need, right, to grow and be healthy? Two, it's the question of, sorry, I just blanked.
It's all right.
Sometimes being judged too, right?
The judgment. But what I would recommend is something called division of power. So what the point of this is, it actually was developed by Ellen Sater. And what she says is there's a role for the kids and there's a role for the parent. So the parent's responsibility is to decide when meals are going to be, where they're going to be, and what's going to be on the menu. And it's the child's responsibility to decide if they're going to eat it and how much. So the important thing here is that once you've prepared the food and you've decided what's on the menu, your job is done. Your job is not to convince them to eat the broccoli or make sure that they finish their plate, because we want the kid to have intuition to know, right, that their own internal cues. Are they hungry? Are they not hungry? During toddlerhood, they go through these crazy eating habits, right? One day they just want protein, then it's just carb, and then it's cheese, and it's only strawberries. But there's actually a reason for this. And if we look at how kids eat over a month, a toddler eats over a month, if you're offering healthy, balanced food, they're going to get everything they need. So we need to trust the kids. If we don't, the long game here is we can have kids who are overeating because they're taught that they need to finish their plate, right? Or eating disorders, kids who are so obsessed with the micronutrients in their foods and the composition that they're not listening to their intuition either. So what I would say if you're experiencing food shaming around the holidays is that you need to think about the long game and what's really best for your kid. And that's going to be respect their choices of what's on the menu. But don't short order chef. So if they don't want to eat what's on the menu, don't go make them a quesadilla.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they eat all these things and the next day their shoes don't fit.
Exactly.
How does that happen?
I know.
Right.
So
What did my wife always said, eat what you eat, or eat what you get, don't throw a fit.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay,
But that was mainly to me. No, I'm kidding.
that I could believe.
Yeah.
Last question about the holidays, kids at home, out of school, screen time. It's tough to balance when they're in school. So any tips for that during this time of year?
Yeah, so for the tiniest people, for the toddlers, they love routine. And so I would really recommend making screens a part of the routine, but at a specific time with a specific time cutoff, right? So this can look like, you eat lunch, take a nap, an hour of screen time while you're preparing dinner. And if you have that consistency and you do it the same way every day, I find that kids really don't have the same tantrums because they know what to expect. It's when they don't know if maybe if I cry a little harder, if I say this, then maybe the parent's going to give in, you get more power struggles. Now, as kids get older, you do need more buy-in. A lot of preteens and teens have cell phones. This is when it really becomes down to coaching, right? So I think we have to educate our youth about what are the dangers of screen time, explain to them that they can be addicted, that screens can be addictive, and some of the other dangers, and then come up with a contract together. Okay, these are your expectations in terms of what I need you to do. It's the holidays. This is how much family time I expect. You have these chores, you have these responsibilities. What do you think is reasonable for screen time? And then try to come to an agreement together. If you set a limit and they break it, I would say that's when you have a conversation of like, it looks like you're not able to manage your screen time responsibly, so maybe you're not old enough yet. And that usually gets them online pretty quick.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Dr. Cobb, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, my
I
pleasure.
really appreciate it. We want to remind people at home, let us know what you want answered, the questions you have. You can scan this QR code here, send in your questions. We will take them to the doctors every Thursday right here at 6:30.
Have a great holidays.
You too, thanks.
We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Stefania Jimenez here. Thank you so much for watching KSAT's YouTube channel. Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news, weather, and so much more by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And once again, thanks for watching KSAT.